One of the biggest challenges that we have with goal setting is two real key things. One, that we don't believe that goal setting works, and two, we don't really actually know how to set goals. So I just briefly wanted to share this video with you to step you through a very simple 4-step process with supported documents in this email that can assist you in basically setting goals that work. So firstly, you've got to do a bit of a review. Just take stock of where you're at. So often, as you can see in the documents provided in this email, one of the first documents is what we call setting your compass. So the setting your compass document is basically a review process. It reviews, you can do this generally in all areas of life. I often do it with my clients and looking at both our personal and our professional life. But this process basically gets you to take stock of past experience. So there are different quadrants. I think there's 3, 6, 9. There's 9 questions that I've placed in that document provided. Some of them get you to review last year, get you to review your achievements, things you've learned about yourself, challenges that you overcame, and some quite challenging questions around what you brought into the world. What difference did you make? And the reasons why we ask these sorts of questions is to start to set the foundation for, I suppose, a preview of the following year or this year. And obviously this is going to in turn help with fueling your why to goal setting. So once you've gone through and spent some time doing your review, and just, if you can, there are 5 responses required. I really do encourage you to get all those 5 down. It is a real must, and it might take you some time. So you might start the process, spend 10 or 15 minutes doing it, park it, and come back to it. But have 5 done. Stop for a moment and reflect. Speaking of reflection, move into the preview. Maybe in a week's time, move into the preview of the current year. So what you want to do is ask yourself once again those questions, okay? The questions are framed in a slightly different way. That's going to assist you once again in fueling the why to the goal setting process moving forward. So you do the review and you do the preview, okay? That's the very first step. And then, or the very first 2 steps. Then the 3rd step is going through what we call the Wacky Wild brainstorming process. Really, really simple. The instructions are there on the document, on document 2. The instructions are there. So all you need to do is read the instructions and go crazy. Don't try and assess the goals too much, right? All I want you to do is get as many goals down on paper as you possibly can. Big, small, big, hairy, audacious goals, it doesn't really matter. Just go nuts. The more you can get, the better. I often get my clients to put at least 50 down, okay, because generally speaking, we'll get rid of 95, maybe 97% of them, especially once you go to that final step of reviewing, okay, in this part of the process anyway. Right, so do that. And just like the review and the preview, it's big or small. So when we look about your achievements from the prior year and things you want to achieve in the following year or in the current year, big or small, doesn't really matter. Don't be so critical about it, okay? And don't worry about how you're going to get there. Just go ahead and do the process, all right? And the final step, if you look at the brainstorming the wacky brainstorming process, is then to go through the process of assessing the key areas of life. Now, I've listed some of my key areas of life, okay, or some common key areas of life, okay? So you look at those key areas of life and you start the process of scoring. So this is one way. You can do it. There's many other ways that I use to score my goals. So basically you start looking at getting some numbers, so rationally and logically and factually, assessing the goals that you've brainstormed and link those back into those key areas of life and think about the value and benefit or impact that those goals are going to have in those key areas. Then you go through the scoring process. Follow the prompts with that scoring in mind, okay, and start to rank. And then with the questions that you're asked, this is just to start getting you to consider, are these goals really worth working towards? Are these goals really worth working towards? Okay, so from that process there, that's 4 steps. From that process there, you might define your goals. In a follow-up video from this, there is a way in which we then close out these goals and fully confirm the next steps to take. So 4 steps. I encourage you to make the time to do it and spend at least, I'll probably spend at least 2 weeks, in coming back and revisiting it. Spend 2 weeks doing this, or even 3 weeks, okay? This is not just about now. More importantly, this is about continued success beyond now, moving beyond the next 8 months, 9 months, 10 months, 11 months, even 12 months beyond, okay? So if you have any questions about this process, you just got to get back to me straight away, especially if you've just listened to this and you want to act on it now. And you can email me directly at dean@melbournecorporatehealth.com.au. Till then, I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.